So, good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here with you today to help you to understand the Dhamma better and to practice with you. First, I would like to warmly welcome you all for this special retreat. This retreat is a thematic retreat. Our theme for this retreat is 5 spiritual faculties. The Buddha has taught us these 5 spiritual faculties as to be developed and cultivated by all of us. The Buddha, introducing the 5 spiritual faculties, said, Panche mani bhikkhave indriyani katamani pancha. Spiritual faculties, Buddha said, Saddindriyang, Virindriyang, Satindriyang, Samadindriyang, Panyindriyang. So, introducing the 5 spiritual faculties, Buddha said, monks, there are 5 spiritual faculties. What are they? They are spiritual faculty of confidence, spiritual faculty of energy, the spiritual faculty of mindfulness, the spiritual faculty of concentration, and the spiritual faculty of wisdom. These are the 5 spiritual faculties. Buddha very clearly said this in his discourses, especially in the Samyukta Nikaya, the connected discourses of the Buddha, where he further said, the one who has completed and fulfilled these 5 spiritual faculties is an arahant. The one who has done this bit weaker is a non-returner. One who is still weaker is once returner. And one who is still weaker is a stream enterer. And one who is still weaker is Dhamma follower. And the one who is still weaker than that, is faith follower, Saddhanusari. So these are, the Buddha pointed out them as those who are in the spiritual path, spiritual ladder. In another discourse, he pointed out 10 different persons, like the one who is enlightened, then the one who is gaining experience of Nibbana in interim, then the one who experiences Nibbana upon arriving, reaching, the one who experienced Nibbana with exertion and then without exertion, and the one who is onwards towards the akanittaka. And further said, the one who is once returner, then stream enterer, and then Dhammanusari, the Dhamma follower, and then the spirit faith follower. So 10 different persons in the spiritual ladder. The point here is, we all have to practice. They all practice, develop these 5 spiritual faculties. So that is the importance here. The spiritual faculties, as you all know, are part and parcel of the 37 factors of enlightenment. 37 factors of enlightenment are the real teachings of the Buddha. As supreme Dhamma, Buddha taught these 37 factors, in which we find these 5 as spiritual faculties as well as the spiritual powers. So both these are the same, spiritual faculties and powers. Once you develop the spiritual faculties, they themselves become spiritual powers. So when we develop these spiritual faculties, we can understand the Dhamma, we can realize the Dhamma, and eventually we all can attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Without practicing this Dhamma, nobody can attain. Without practicing this, developing these 5 spiritual faculties, nobody can attain Nibbana. These 5 are called Indriya in Pali. Indriya. Indra means chief, like the head, the chief, like the head of gods, Sakka. He is called Indra. And also these are called Indra because they themselves individually, they have the power, they are individually powerful. That is why they are called Indra or Indriya. So unlike the physical sense bases, these are quite spiritual process, internal process, mental development. These 5. Once we develop this, the Buddha said, we can cut off the 10 fetters and attain enlightenment. In order to develop this, cultivate this, we have to refrain from certain things. We have to have 6 different qualities. What are the 6 different qualities? We have to refrain from delight in work. If we work like too many things to do, then we cannot practice. That is why we refrain from work and come to a place like this. To refrain from work, doing this, that, many different things. While you are at home, you cannot practice this properly. That is why you have to find a suitable, congenial place. So the Buddha said, refrain from delight in work. Then secondly, refrain from delight in talk. Third, refrain from delight in sleep, too much sleep. Delight in sleep. Then refrain from delight in community. Get together, just talking, endless talking. Then refrain from delight in eating too much. If you eat too much, then again you cannot develop these things. And finally said, refrain from delight in pleasing these senses. Try to please these senses. Say, for instance, you want to please your eyes. You want to watch TV, or try to please your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. Then again you cannot practice. Then there are other 4 factors to maintain while we are practicing. They are given in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the discourse on the establishments of mindfulness, where the Buddha said, in order to practice, develop this, you have to maintain the effort. You have to practice ardently, practice with an effort. Again and again, make effort to practice, continue, maintain your meditation. So that is important. Secondly, the Buddha said, understand this clearly, understand your object of meditation clearly. Third, be mindful, mindfully, practice mindfully. And the fourth, practice equanimously. Those are the four factors to be maintained while we are practicing. So then we can develop these five spiritual faculties. These five spiritual faculties, when practiced, we have to make sure that they are in a particular balance. Like the first one is confidence. Confidence is very much important, as it is the base. It is to be practiced, developed from the beginning. It is the confidence. If we have confidence in the Buddha. Confidence here means confidence in the Buddha's enlightenment. We trust, we believe, we trust, we accept the Buddha's enlightenment. Once we accept the Buddha's enlightenment, we accept what he taught us. If we do not accept, we have no confidence. We do not trust him. That is what you call confidence. We have to have confidence in the Buddha's enlightenment, Buddhahood. We have to believe, we have to accept that he attained full enlightenment and he is the knower. He knows everything. That we have to accept. With facts we trust him. So with that faith, with that confidence, we practice. When we practice confidence, we have to make sure that it is balanced with wisdom. If we have no wisdom, what happens? Our confidence is heading to blind confidence, blind faith, where we simply do things in order to please ourselves or please others. We simply perform different things like rituals. Blindly we accept things. It is not the teaching of the Buddha. We have to blend this with wisdom. So confidence should be balanced with wisdom. Then our energy, virya, energy should be balanced with concentration. So that is also important. Energy, simply if we have energy, we might hastily do things because of our energy, virya. But we have to calm down ourselves and practice concentration. Then it is balanced, well balanced. That balance is to be maintained again. In order to balance all these four, we have to practice, develop, cultivate mindfulness, which is in the middle, just like the five fingers. Five spiritual faculties are like five fingers. Confidence should be balanced with wisdom. Then energy should be balanced with concentration. And mindfulness is the middle. So mindfulness is the thing to be developed, practiced, cultivated. So for this purpose, here during this retreat, we practice mindfulness of breathing. According to the teachings of the Buddha, according to the technique of the Buddha, technique of meditation, we want to practice here mindfulness of breathing in order to keep this balance. So mindfulness of breathing is the first section of the technique of the Buddha. Buddha gave this technique as the four establishments of mindfulness, for satipatthana, where the Buddha first said, practice mindfulness of breathing. So when we practice mindfulness of breathing, there are four different steps to practice. During this retreat, we practice and try to understand these 4 different steps. The first steps are, first we have to understand, we have to observe our breath and understand mindfully, breathe in, mindfully breathing out. Then we have to understand long breath in, long breath out. Then short breath in, short breath out. Then the whole breath body in, whole breath body out. Then calm in the breath body, in, out. So we, during the first 4 days, we want to practice and understand these 4 steps, and then finally we want to switch to insight. That is how we want to practice during the retreat, this retreat. So friends, in order to practice, the first thing is the foundation. Just like when we want to build a house, first we have to lay the foundation. The foundation of our practice is Sila, morality. That is why we want to maintain our Sila properly. So Sila, here we observe 8 precepts. When we observe 8 precepts, now we observe 8 precepts, and then we renew this every day morning. Early morning, we start with the renewal of the precepts. So that is how we want to practice. Let's now observe precepts and start our practice. Thank you. So please take your folder, the booklet, and first better you read the meaning. 8 precepts, page 3 and 4. Please read and understand what you are going to recite in Pali.